Seattle's mayor seems to protect Antifa over his own police force, and it's finally backfiring, as at Mayday USA's second event, journalist Jonathan Cho was attacked by Antifa. And even ran at Katie Davis Court as well. To which the police complained about her.
Make a choice now.
Well,
we keep coming out here and putting officers in this situation.
Have a bird's eye view.
We need to
Go
stop.
back inside.
Okay.
Although they eventually did make a few arrests, it really seems like the police were reluctant to actually arrest anybody. As being in a deep blue city like Seattle, I don't necessarily blame them, as the city's mayor made this much worse himself, because what was initially a Christian prayer rally got labeled as fascist family values, and now the feds actually had to step in. As on May 24th, Mayday USA held a Christian concert for Hands Off Our Kids, until massive amounts of protesters lined up to protest against the Christians, even throwing water balloons filled with likely not water. So eventually Seattle PD had to move in, making several arrests.
These militants, Antifa militants, being arrested and put in the wagon.
But apparently the mayor didn't like that, as his official statement labeled it a extreme right-wing rally, saying Seattle is proud of its reputation, but the far-right rally held here is opposed to our city's values, and he's grateful for those who make their voices heard without resorting to violence in the face of extreme right-wing national effort. It's almost like the mayor purposely ignored what actually happened and just wrote what he wanted to be true, as apparently it doesn't matter if journalists like Cho or Davis Court provide you 4K evidence of violence, they're just gonna hunker down with their fiery but mostly peaceful narrative. As Cho's show points out, the media tried to do it again, where the Daily Mail reported it as Christian prayer rally attacked by mob, while the Seattle Times said 23 arrests at fascist family values protest, oddly omitting who was attacking who in the religious aspect of the story, as it was a Christian concert saying leave the kids alone, with plenty of kids in attendance, getting mobbed by a group ironically carrying signs saying no hate in our neighborhood, and choose love, stand with us, or love thy neighbor, and stop far-right violence. It's almost like they label anything they don't like as far-right or fascist just so they can justify attacking it. As it got so bad, Seattle even had to deploy their poetry police. I imagine it's just an acronym, but I equally believe Seattle PD would pilot some slam poetry peace officers, as they saw the worst sign I've ever seen saying, "I heart boy," and then another word for cat. There's really nowhere in public you should be waving that sign, but this concert has to be the worst. But what makes this even worse is even after all the arrests, since the mayor seemed to side with the protesters, when Mayday USA called for the mayor to resign 3 days later, the same group protested them again.
Hundreds of Christians and their allies went scorched earth on Mayor Bruce Harrell outside Seattle City Hall.
It's time for the mayor to resign!
Pastor Russell Johnson led the charge, demanding an apology or a resignation from Harrell after he labeled their peaceful concert at Cal Anderson Park over the weekend an extreme right-wing rally.
This time feeling bold enough to square up with the police. Now, I don't want to be mean to someone that may be terribly ill, but realistically, Blue Hat should never feel emboldened to fight that much larger police officer, unless the police officer's boss both publicly endorsed and encouraged it. As we saw earlier, they attacked Jonathan Cho, then went after Katie Davis Court, and then went after other attendees not recording, and even this mother with her kid, which I don't even think I can show on here. So the Seattle police shut down entire sections of the city, and actually had to escort the religious group out of the area. But then the Police Officers Guild put out this ominous warning, stating over 700 coppers have fled the city due to lack of action against Antifa criminals who dictate public safety, and now they do not have the staffing to handle these demonstrations that turn into mass arrests. as 1/4 of their remaining officers are eligible to retire, which may lead to even further turnover. And again, it looks like this is all going as planned. The mayor publicly supports the protesters while ignoring the pleas of their police, which gives the activists exactly what they wanted by dismantling law enforcement from within. I just don't think the mayor expected the feds to step in, as Deputy Director Dan Bongino stated they will look into the attacks in Seattle, as freedom of religion isn't a suggestion, with the mayor responding, "Free speech protections are fundamental. We will not shy away from standing up for Seattle residents and values under pressure from the Trump administration." Why does it always seem like the mayor is just the PR department for Antifa? Because I imagine he thinks he's earning favor from these activists, completely oblivious to the fact that at some point he's going to disagree with the mob, and they'll quickly forget all the protection that he once gave them. But I don't feel sorry for Seattle, I'll just say sayonara. Yes, I know that's a Japanese word, but whatever, weebs, I don't need your approval to alliterate. But if you appreciate my concise, light-order commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, subscribe to Decoy Voice.